much out there. I'm sorry. How's everybody doing?
Good. How about you?
Awesome. Warm. Out of the cold.
Everybody good?
Yep.
All right, question for Coach Golesh.
Alex, talk about portal haul for you guys, and just are you in the final stages of that, or are there any other positions you're looking at adding? I know it's kind of late in the game here with classes and everything like that.
Yeah, we have a little bit of room. It's this last part of there's going to be this last surge of kids that potentially graduate in May. They still got to go to school. It's like a thing still. So graduate in May. There's some late May out junior college guys, some late qualifier high school guys. We've left ourselves a little bit of room, but for the most part, you feel like it's close to done.
Running back room, being able to keep Jeremiah and adding multiple proven backs. I guess what's your vision for that room, and how big was it to add Bryson and Tay and Nakai?
Yeah, you know what? It was a matter of adding just college reps. You feel like the younger you are in that room, the scarier it is going into the year. It was a matter of adding, like Bryson brings real 2.5 years of starting game experience at the Power 4 level. More than anything, the kind of kid he is, like he was hungry to go play in an offense where you're going to run the ball, wanted to play in the SEC, wanted to play against the best talent in the country. That's what you were looking for in general in the portal. You wanted guys that ran to an opportunity to play in the best league in the country and truly ran to an offense, at least offensively ran to an offense, and then defensively ran to a defense where they knew they were going to play at a high level. Bryson was that. Certainly Nakai's still young. That's the thing with, as excited as we were about Nakai, he's still a baby. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman, missed his whole freshman year. Everything he did was kind of on raw talent, and he's still got to continue to develop. Tay, in the same breath, you wanted a guy that had experience playing. And running the ball is one thing. The pass protection is the biggest thing that comes with experience and seeing defenses and seeing pre-snap reads. And you feel like we went from, man, what exactly are we going to do here to a really, really good room. You started off with Jeremiah, having him back. It was actually just at his high school 2 days ago, kind of a deja vu moment. Last time I was there was 5 years ago, I guess now, at a different school recruiting him. But he brings a veteran presence and a true Auburn man that started there, wants to finish there, and certainly really excited about that room.
You got DJ Broughton from this area over at MGM. Bryce Kane is from Baker High School. How important is the Gulf Coast in your recruiting efforts from this season and moving forward?
Yeah, huge. I think just really covering the state has been such a priority for us. It's where we started. This period's so crazy. I think I end up with 9 days out on the road with finishing portal recruiting, which was a priority, our own team being a priority, and then being able to get out. But the entire state's huge. Certainly right here in Mobile is absolutely huge for us. You look at the guys that have come out of here that have played at Auburn, absolutely huge.
Wanted to ask you about what's going on in college basketball right now with Charles Bediako and how that could translate potentially to college football. If a guy declares for the draft, goes undrafted, or is even on a practice squad in the NFL, them potentially coming back and, using up the rest of their eligibility in the college ranks.
Would you believe me if I haven't paid much attention to it? Man, crazy would add a bigger pool of players, wouldn't it? I don't know. I really don't. It would certainly add a bigger pool of kids. I think college football is evolving so fast, and every single time there's a situation like that, my antennas go up. And I think with every change or every ruling or lack of ruling, you've got an opportunity to either sit and complain about it, which I think we tend to as coaches. I've always looked at it the other way. It's like, man, where's the loophole in here? Who's available out there that we can go get that fits what we do? But certainly fascinating. From a legal side, fascinating. Yeah. How did it work out for him last weekend?
Yeah, pretty good.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, he won last night.
Yeah.
14 and 6 in 18 minutes. So.
Gotcha.
Alex, this offensive line rebuild, what do you think of that room and having to go out and you guys brought in some experience, some depth? What do you think about the offensive line group so far?
Yeah, that was a group you go in and, man, if there was anything you were like, how's this going to play out? Because it wasn't just filling what you felt like were the starters. You felt like you needed to fill some backup roles, and we're in a situation where we walked in, signed a big freshman class and a really talented freshman class, and you felt like there was a really talented young group in there, but it was filling those roles where those guys can develop and give those guys time to develop. I think, you kind of saw how it progressed. We started with the tackle spots. We felt like we worked to the interior of the line. Feel like we got a ton of experienced guys. That was what, similar to the running back group, we wanted guys that had played at a high level and not just a year, but guys that had started for multiple years and can understand the tempo at which defenses in this league play. And I think we did a really, really good job. I still feel like, man, if there's one out there, you feel like you can go get one. I think that's a position where you're always looking and you're never really done. But I do feel like we've got some veteran presence. I'm really excited about the youth in that room. You hope you don't find out about the youth here for a while, though.
How much does having a center and a quarterback who played for you before speed up the installation of the offense?
Monumental. I think absolutely priceless. It honestly lets you go to sleep at night a little bit, to where, like, we're not there right now. You got our young coaches there. Obviously, they're with the strength staff, but they're plugging already. And I think every day that you can get ahead offensively and you feel like there's continuity and rhythm, you got a chance to have success. You can kind of skip that first couple of games where people are figuring it out. Both Cole and Byram, honestly, let you sleep at night a little bit. And Cole has position flexibility. There's some guys in that room on the interior that have position flexibility, but I would tell you priceless.
Alex, on a similar note, how important is it to have guys with familiarity in this offense at other positions, particularly wide receiver? And I guess, were those conversations maybe a little bit easier than some other guys in the portal? I know you've talked a lot about proof of concept. Those guys have had proof of concept within your offense. I guess, what were those conversations like with them following you from your previous stop?
Yeah, I think twofold. The familiarity with the offense is absolutely huge. To be honest with you, I think more than that, because you've got time, you can install an offense, and we're going to evolve offensively because it's going to fit personnel, and it's been that every year. I think just as important as that, and honestly more important in a lot of ways, is those guys coming in and almost stamping the staff, stamping myself, stamping several of the coaches, the strength staff, stamping those guys. And when I say stamping, the locker room controls the narrative of the program, right? Like, that's where guys either walk in and say, man, what the hell are we doing? Or they walk in and say, man, like, I like what's going on in here. Well, you've got a foundation of guys that either which way that conversation goes, they can say, man, like, hey, give that guy a shot. And that's everything. That's not just the coaches. That's not the offensive scheme. It's the strength staff. It's sports medicine. It's nutrition. It's every part of the program that touches these guys. Those guys can stamp. And I think more than anything, that group of guys can say, hey, listen, like, whatever this was here, these guys are about culture, about relationships, about development. Like, these are real guys. And when you can have somebody walk into a locker room, especially guys that have played and have the respect of the guys around them, I think it helps you gain credibility quicker, helps you gain trust quicker. And that's what this game is right now, from a roster retention standpoint, amongst other things, it truly is how fast can you build trust, how fast can you build a relationship with the guys that you haven't been around. And I think for the guys that stayed, that chose to stay, like, those guys' perception of what college football is totally based on their relationships and their experience with the previous staff, has nothing to do with us. And the guys that came with give you a level of credibility that you need to have to be able to go and build quickly right now within the walls.
Anything else? The other NCAA thing is tampering. I know that South Florida, you were on the other end of it. I'm sure big programs trying to pluck your players. Is there anything that needs to be done, that can be done to stop it, or how much of an issue do you think it is?
Man, that's a loaded question with a lot of tentacles off of it. So at South Florida, I would tell you, not as crazy as you would think. You had relationships with guys, and you were running a program based on authentic things. I think it's all relative, like we used to talk about at the Group of 5 level, like, man, people are going to come get our kids. Well, look at who's in front of the podium right now complaining about it. The level's irrelevant. It truly is all relative to where you are. It's been going on for a really long time. This portal era, I think, amplified it in every imaginable way. There eventually needs to be guardrails on this thing. I think we all want guardrails. I think we all want to know the rules in which you can operate in. The truth is, right now there aren't any. So you operate ethically with what you feel like is right. Is it right to call a kid that's on somebody else's roster to go get him? It's not. I think in a lot of ways what goes around comes around. In the fall, you got to go line up and play. And I'm a strong believer in the football gods will find you at some point, and generally they'll find you at the end of a game, or they'll find you on 4th and 1. And I think you got to do things the right way, and the right way is doing right by the young people and doing right by your program. But the pressure to win is great, and people feel it in different ways, and so I'm not here to judge anybody else's decisions on how they operate, but you would love to have some guardrails within the system. And I think maybe as I establish myself in this conference, I'll have more vocal opinions. Right now, I'm just the new guy on the block trying to build a program here at Auburn and do it the right way.
Coach, can you speak about the Dallas Walker fourth, him coming back in the Auburn background?
Yeah, he's been taking classes hoping for the ruling to come back the right way for him. I think anytime you can add somebody that's played in your defense, especially right down the middle of it, especially somebody that as the year went on at the end of the year kind of became a leader in a lot of ways up front, I think it's absolutely huge. I called him yesterday and he's like, man, this phone call can only be good, right, Coach? Like, it was cool. Neat young man, and he's got a young family already, and just excited to get back to work. Like I said, he's been working out on his own at the rec, so he's excited to get back with a program and a structure. He was almost teary-eyed last night in my office, really excited about getting back to work. And so for us, it's talking about a guy that played 25, 30 snaps a game in the inside of a really, really good defense. And I know Coach Montrell's really excited. I know DJ's really excited, and I'm excited to get a guy that's got leadership ability, that's about the right things to come back.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys. War Eagle, appreciate you.